Hi, human. This is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com and also healingsuicide.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, energy worker, channel, medium, do all kinds of interesting things. Things I perceive are interesting. So this video, does Lilith have to be bad? And I just want to do a little video here on different ways of thinking about Lilith energy. If you have been around my work for a while, you know I've kind of specialized in, or I focus on Lilith certainly, for quite a long time. I kind of started getting into it in 2004, and I wrote a bunch of stuff in 2008 and 10 and 11. Anyway, so my book, Lilith Healing the Wild, and also the Lilith Natal Report, both available at tdjacobs.com, and the book is available through Kindle and Amazon as well, and maybe some other online retailers. But also, Loving Lilith is kind of the I don't know, I don't want to know how to say it, the peak tool, PEAK, the like apex tool so far for me to work with healing Lilith issues. And it's called Loving Lilith. The subtitle is An End to Shame. So anyway, some of those thoughts and motivations in there are informing this video. I'll put the links in the description to all those three of those things. Does Lilith have to be bad? The preconception is yes, but that's cultural teaching. That's conditioning. And that has to do with trying to sequester or keep to the side or pigeonhole and corral feminine energy because it gets in the way of the plan. So one way to think about, does Lilith have to be bad? It depends on who you're asking the question to, or of whom you're asking the question, right? It depends. Because people who are oriented toward the plan and fitting in with the cultural plan, the patriarchal cultural plan, will say, yeah, of course. But it's incumbent upon you as an individual to figure out how to live with Lilith in intentional, conscious ways. When you do, you find an instinctive lower chakra or root chakra sense of things, response to things. And if you learn to trust that it's pre-logical, therefore not logical, seen to be illogical, irrational, right? The stereotypes of women being irrational, or always changing their minds. It's changeable, so therefore it's labeled erratic when it's actually mutable and constantly changing. I'll talk for a minute about the true black moon as a point that one might use in an astrology chart in a moment. I have other videos on that too, to get into like the mean versus true motion and why I use the true position. But well, I'll just say this right now. The true black moon is the calculation of where this empty focus of the moon's orbit will be. It's always changing. Think about it symbolically. The moon's imperfect orbit around the Earth. It's the moon is a motion and energy moving, fairly quickly around the physical body, the manifested body. So you have this relationship, like Lilith is a function of the relationship between your emotions and your body, how your emotions sit in your body, how those change, how your needs change, how your needs for nutrition, your needs for touch, autonomy, space, engagement, how all those things change quite often. And so people who have super strong Liliths might be observed to have a roller coaster emotional nature. Or in the morning, everything's great. In the afternoon, oh, it's dark clouds, and how that makes other people feel uncertain or unsafe or something, right? But it's a function of your energy field and your emotions as they sit in, are rooted in your body. That's why one week you crave this food and the next week you don't. Or why for 1 year this is the right kind of diet or way of eating, say it that way, protocol, and then it changes. Your body, your emotions, things are changing. So when you get in touch with that instinctive self of Lilith and you realize it's changing, that might make people nervous. So does Lilith have to be bad? I'm always changing. You're always changing. That kind of sense of insecurity can seem like a negative. But it's incumbent upon you to trust yourself. one of the themes of Lilith is self-knowledge, well then self-trust and cultivating autonomy based in self-knowledge and self-trust. What do you need to do for yourself? So think, circling back to, the answer, does Lilith have to be bad? Kind of depends on who you're asking. Really, not just who you're asking, but how does that person receive the cultural conditioning that the plan is important, but everything that deviates from the plan is potentially dangerous or distracting or annoying or wasteful. So the cultivation of your individual self-awareness and self-trust is a very mature, spiritually advanced way of understanding Lilith. It brings you into your independence, your need to develop and maintain autonomy through trusting yourself. Now, if you think about the Lilith myth, Lilith left Adam. And this is all in the book and the natal report and in Loving Lilith, the home study healing course too. Lilith left Adam, and then she's kind of off, and kind of perceived to be an enemy of the Hebrew God and all who love the Hebrew God, right? She won't come back and be subservient to Adam. And so Adam's lonely and whines to God, so God creates Eve out of a part of Adam, so she will never assert equality or be autonomous, right? That the mythology says that the female should be an extension of the male because the natural woman is so difficult, and she leaves and she won't do anything for the man, right? She left. But anyway, if you think about that Lilith experience that many, many people have, they feel ostracized or shunned or thrown out and shamed, like they don't belong and they shouldn't belong. So as I'm explaining this to you, one of the things that looks bad about Lilith is when she refuses to submit to the plan, the cultural patriarchal plan. If you are willing to know and trust yourself and cultivate autonomy, you can let go of the judgments or fears of others that you're not fitting under their version of how things should work. So it depends on who you're asking, and also how that person, and who you're asking, what I mean is, how that person's been shaped and conditioned by these prevalent cultural attitudes from thousands, over the last several thousand years. And some of you might say, Jacobs, it's 2020. What's wrong with you? But we're coming out of this essentially cultural incubator. So even if you don't feel this way, the patriarchal plan is so important. Even if your parents and your immediate family that raised you didn't subscribe to that, we're all coming out of a cultural tradition where the person who says, but I got to go my own way, or no, I don't want that. What everybody wants, I don't want that. Or I got to listen to my own body, or I don't want to have sex with you right now, or I need to eat my own food, or I need to earn money in a way that I choose. That kind of autonomous thing can be seen as a rebellion against the plan. And of course that can be seen as bad and negative. But anyway, the point of Lilith healing, and this is what Loving Lilith and End to Shame is all about, is you going on an internal process to unlock the residues of cultural and family, societal, even from religious groups, like any kind of group things, that you have taken on the beliefs that something's wrong with you if you need to be independent and autonomous and trust and know yourself and say yes and no when you mean it, because of your physical instinct, your emotional needs, and the need to cultivate self-respect, which is a form of self-love, which is empowerment. So to undo our attachment to the cultural residues and to really put attention on you as a divine being who needs to individuate. So anyway, does Lilith have to be bad? If you're seeing things in black and white in terms of who will and won't submit to the plan and thereby make it easier for people who are in charge, yeah. But we know rebellion is good. We know self-trust is good. We know listening to our bodies. We know eating the foods that our bodies want and staying away from the foods our bodies don't want. We know that, not being touched or treated in a sexual manner in ways that don't work for us. We know that's good to say no when we mean it. We know it's good to respect ourselves. So anyway, does Lilith have to be bad? No, Lilith is always good if you go into that process of healing yourself. So anyway, I'm Tom Jacobs. Check my workout at tdjacobs.com, and I'll put links to those 3 resources in the description of the video. Take care of yourself. You know, sorry, what I was going to do was get on the video and say, does Lilith have to be bad right at the beginning, and say, no. Thanks for watching, and then play a joke. But anyway, I'll do that now. I did it. Okay, bye.